8 reasons why you don't have a partner despite wishing it with all your heart. One of the main reasons why people around the world consult me are the sorrows of the heart. I've compiled the main reasons why you probably can't find the person you dream of. So, if you want to meet that person, be sure to watch this video until the end. If this is the first time you visit my channel, I'm delighted to have you with me. I'm a psychologist by profession and I dedicate myself to accompany people from all over the world to help them create the life they deserve and dream. I do it combining both psychology and spirituality, and if you haven't already done so, sign up for all my courses and subscribe to my social networks. Remember that on Instagram I'm sharing material every day so that we can continue to grow together. Without further ado, let's go with today's topic. Not all men or all women are the same. You attract them and they interest you like that. Yes, I know it sounds very contradictory, and you are probably thinking, Maria, but how is it possible that what I want is a faithful man and I always attract unfaithful men to my life? One of the principles of spirituality is the principle of correspondence and tells us that as it is inside, it is outside. So if you are always attracting unfaithful people, it is because there is a lesson for you that you must learn. Either learn to set limits, learn to choose better the people you attract, learn to change and replace your limiting belief. If you believe that all men are unfaithful, if you believe that all women are the same, if you believe that love doesn't exist anymore, whether you think so or if you don't, you believe it, you create it. So whatever is present in your mind, if you believe it, you are right, as Henry Ford said. If you think you can, as much as if you think you cannot, you are right, because it is exactly what you are believing, what will happen and will materialize in your life. I talked to a patient some time ago and she told me, Maria, I only attract men who want to have an intimate relationship with me. Nobody wants anything serious. When we checked where she is meeting that type of man and who she is interacting with, we realized that the men she has been getting or attracting in the last 2 years of her life, she meets them in clubs or discos. In other words, she's pretending to find a person who engages with her in an environment where people are only going to hang out and have a good time. And what she is doing with the way she dresses and the way she behaves is to attract and draw attention only to those men who want only to hang out. Unconsciously, her behavior, her nonverbal language, her way of expressing herself, and the way she dresses in the places she frequents, all she will do is to keep on attracting these kind of people. Then we realized that she has a deep fear of commitment, and that was what had to be worked on. So, to recap, reason number 1, you must identify your limiting beliefs because what you are believing is what you will eventually end up materializing. If you believe it, you create it. Reason number 2, you run away so they don't hurt you. Yes, it is as if you were in a constant internal conflict. On one hand, you deeply want to have a solid relationship with whom you can grow and with whom you can learn, but at the same time, you are very afraid that you will surrender your heart and that that person does not end up appreciating you and they end up hurting you, betraying you, or causing pain. You are very afraid of giving it all, probably because you have already been through heartbreaks, because you have already been through love sorrows, or simply because there are relationships around you that have not ended up satisfactorily, or you come from a home where dad and mom unfortunately did not have an ideal relationship. You should have seen mom crying, mom suffering, dad maybe left home, or dad was unfaithful. And in you, those painful patterns were established and made you believe that who loves most is who loses most. Who loves most is who suffers most. And although a part of you yearns to have a person with whom you can build a solid relationship, deep inside your unconscious there is a latent fear that tells you, stay away. So if this is your case and you are in the reason number 2, you will probably find all the arguments and all the reasons to keep that person away from you. He may be the perfect man, but you will say, maybe he's very short. He's probably affectionate, he's faithful, he's intelligent, independent, just as you wanted him. But then you will say, I think he doesn't earn enough. Anyway, you will always find some reason for which it is not convenient and it is better to stay away, or that it would probably be better if you don't connect with him effectively. And sooner or later, in a way that is not conscious for you, you'll end up moving away or running away. He invites you to go out and you always have an excuse. He invites you to meet his friends and you think that he's going very fast. When he shows you affection, then you misrepresent what is happening, and instead of believing that this person really has a genuine interest in you, you start to suspect. Maybe he only wants something with me for the moment. Maybe he's telling me lies. Maybe he's not serious. Maybe he's with me just for personal interest. And instead of seeing the positive things, your mind begins to fill you with a lot of threats that are probably not real and end up convincing you to leave this person aside. Real case, a woman who attends one of my workshops shared with me that she moved away from a man she loved and that she was feeling very well after a few months. When I investigated the reason why she moved away from him, the answer is this. He didn't have a vehicle, but during the relationship he acquired one. What is the reason for her to move away? In her unconscious, what she perceives is, I better walk away before he leaves me. And the question is, why do you have to move away and what does a car have to do with this? Her unconscious answer is that if he already has a better vehicle, then he deserves a much prettier, more attractive woman that goes according to his new way of life, the new style, or the new status he has. In other words, he's going to leave me because he already got a vehicle. Now that he has a vehicle, probably other nicer and prettier women than me will notice him. He's going to prefer to have another person different from me by his side, and I better step aside. It's very common, so check if the reason why you're not with the person you long for is the number 2. You're afraid or you run away. Number 3. You don't trust yourself. You go to a social gathering and your friends want to introduce you to someone and finally you end up saying, no, I better not take the risk. I have nothing important to say. I have nothing to talk about. I have nothing to contribute with. And when someone gives you a compliment, instead of accepting it and feeling flattered, what you do is reject it. You are very pretty. You are beautiful today. No, this is just an old garment I put on. Wow, how good your body is. Are you training? And he replies, no, I'm not training. Or no, not at all. I still need to train. Or no, I don't have the body I want. When every day you are getting up to go to the gym early in the morning and have been working your body for months. The only answer for a person who loves themselves, values themselves, feels deserving, and is trusting their potential when they receive a compliment is a yes. Real case, a patient in the United States, very beautiful. She's a little overweight, a few extra kilos, really nothing from the other world. Maybe she went up a pant size. When we were reviewing why her social life has been affected so much, the answer is, I want to have a partner, but I have stopped dating because I no longer feel well with the clothes I have. When I inquire and say, very well, and what is the worst thing that can happen if you go to a meeting with your friends? The answer is, no, nobody's going to notice me because I'm a little chubby. Then I will never get a partner. I prefer to stay at home. And I ask her, very well, and do you think that staying at home because you have 1 or 2 kilos more, you have more chances of meeting a person than going out? Do you see how the mind deceives us? Do you see how the mind makes us sabotage ourselves so that we don't find plenitude? Check if there is a lack of confidence in you, if your self-esteem is solid enough, or if on the contrary there is something to work on. Either with your physical image, with the salary you earn, or the income you earn, with your level of knowledge. Do you feel that you are a person interesting enough to attract another person into your life? Always remember this, you attract what is in tune with who you are. In this way, if you want to attract a person that takes care of the body, that is intelligent, that is fun, that is loving, that is friendly, are you taking care of your body by being friendly and loving with yourself? Are you investing in yourself and in your knowledge? Do you have fun and enjoy your body alone? You can only materialize the relationship that is in direct proportion to the way in which you relate to yourself. Key number 4. You are not prepared to have a relationship. And this happens many times when we are carrying the blame for past situations. Your ex left you, you still blame yourself for what happened, your self-esteem is on the floor, and unconsciously you feel that this is not the time to create a relationship, although deep down you crave it. Be very careful. Remember that always regret and guilt will be useless feelings. If today, when you look back, you would act in a different way, it means that you have already internalized learning. In other words, you are no longer the same person, and this could only happen because you lived that experience. No matter how painful your past relationships have been, this is the time to give yourself the opportunity to build a new story. The past is over, you cannot transform it, but in your present, you will always have the opportunity to create and materialize the relationship you want. But for this, it is necessary that you free yourself from everything that binds you. Many of the people who consult me tell me, Maria, I just ended a relationship and I have low self-esteem because they were unfaithful. So they left me for someone else when I was so in love, and because of this, my self-esteem is on the floor. I always invite you to be very honest with you. Probably your self-esteem is not on the floor because they left you. You probably already had a low self-esteem. And when the betrayal materialized, it gave you the final blow. But most likely, your self-esteem was already fragmented enough. Why am I so sure of this? Because many people who also have been left, even though they face pain, do not collapse. Who has a solid self-esteem understands that the relationship simply reached its cycle, and although the way it ends, if it is a betrayal, was not the right way, was not the ideal way, they prefer to focus on the positive in remaking their life, in finding new alternatives, and in healing their heart, instead of victimizing and complaining. So check if this is your case. You are probably still having regrets and guilt about the past, and you are not open to creating a new relationship. Number 5. You depend on a relationship to be happy. And this is a principle of spirituality. Deepak Chopra teaches it very clearly, and it is to apply the law of detachment. And the law of detachment applies to any area of your life: material, spiritual, work, or even relationships. If you are telling life that you depend on something to be happy, you probably won't materialize it. Why? Because you are very anxious, depositing all the expectations of your happiness in that you hope to obtain. Therefore, life, if you want to call it that way, the universe, God, the universal consciousness, give it the name you prefer, and its infinite wisdom will prevent you from obtaining it, because what life wants is for you to learn that you don't need anything or anyone to be happy. Happiness is your ability to love yourself, accept yourself, and adapt to circumstances as they occur, because if your happiness depends on things happening as you wish, you probably won't be happy ever in your life. Because very rarely does life end up developing exactly as we crave it. That's what life is about. It's a wonderful experience that fills us with surprises, and all the time we are creating the reality we want, but it's never millimetrically accurate. So, our ability to accept the facts as they occur, to face situations with love, with fun, with humor, is a wonderful example of applying the law of detachment. It doesn't mean giving up what you want, but giving up your need to get it in order to be happy. Think about it like this. If you think all your happiness is focused on having a partner, children, houses, and dogs, when you have the couple, the children, the houses, and the dogs, what will happen is that since they are the source of your happiness, you will live with constant fear and concern, because if you lose them, your happiness will go away with them. While if you are in a position of empowerment, detachment, and freedom, you can say, at this moment, I am very happy with my life. I know I would feel more plenitude and happier if I was in a relationship. but not because I needed to be happy, but because I have so much plenitude, so much well-being, and I feel so comfortable with myself and with my freedom that I know that I have a lot to give. In this way, life, with its infinite wisdom, will tell you, very well, perfect, you don't need it to be happy, you can enjoy it in total detachment. You will not be disconnected from the present, yearning for a future. You will not be believing that happiness is always one step ahead, but you will be able to be happy here and now, with or without a partner. Reason number 6. You probably have no partner because you have not left a fertile void. What is a fertile void? It is a space for something new to arrive. Imagine it like this. You have your closet full of clothes, and life has a lot of new clothes to give you. Life comes with that pile of new clothes for you, but it sees that in your closet there is no space available to occupy. Then what will life say? No, this is not for you. You have no space to receive it. Therefore, what does life do? It takes those clothes and gives them to those who do have space, as simple as when you are going to plant a bush. When you are going to plant a tree, you must have a space where you can plant the seeds so that something new arrives. If you are watching this video, you might tell me, but I do have a fertile space. I don't have a partner. That is why I'm watching your video. How can I not have it? I want you to know that for our unconscious, on the level of spirituality, there is not much difference between having someone physically next to me and having his memory with me all night. Your ex may not be sleeping with you in the same bed anymore, but if you go to sleep thinking about him and get up thinking about him, if on your nightstand, on your bedside table, you have the drawer full of your memories, if every time you go to eat at a restaurant you remember what his favorite food was, that you spent a sunset there, that he gave you the first kiss there, then you are totally anchored mentally and energetically to that person even if he's no longer there. Therefore, if you want something new to arrive, close the cycle and leave a space for new and better things to come to your life. Reason number 7. You may be afraid of commitment and afraid of losing your freedom. Not necessarily as key number 2, fear of being harmed, and that's why you run away. No. In this case, you might be afraid of what a relationship represents. One part of you yearns to have someone next to you to share, but another part says, wow, everything I will have to sacrifice, now they will control me. Now I will not be able to sleep late. Now I'm going to have to synchronize or coordinate my trips with another person. Now they will want to measure my time and my space. I will probably have to give explanations. I will not be able to have so much fun. I will not be free to spend my money as I want. Or what I probably want is a person with whom to share my present, but someone who may want something very serious in the future is going to come in. I still don't want to have children, or if I already have them, I don't want to attract a person who doesn't have children because I already lived that stage of my life. Examine a lot if in your subconscious there can be fear of commitment. Remember that you don't attract what you want, but what is in tune with what you are vibrating. And if a piece of your conscious wants a person with whom to share, your 5% conscious wants a partner, but a lot, your 95% subconscious is very afraid and very resistant to be controlled or to lose its freedom, either win. Think about it like this. Remember the game where people are on the beach, dig a hole and there is a rope? There are two teams, side and side, pulling to see who's stronger. And finally, whoever gets to win is the one who leads the opposing group to fall into the ditch. Okay, will you accompany me with the example? I guess you're already imagining it. Remember that our mind is always divided into approximately 95%, 97, 95 subconscious, and 5% conscious. I want you to see it like this. Team A is pulling that rope very hard and it is your 5% conscious. Imagine 5 people who are saying, yes, we want to have a partner. But on the other hand, a team that you almost never see, that is very deep in your subconscious, made up of 95 people, is saying, deep down, we don't want to lose freedom. And that is a tug of war. Who do you think will win? And the key number 8 is that maybe you are waiting to find in another person what you are not giving to yourself. Always remember that nobody comes to make you happy and that you attract what you are. I will not get tired of telling you this. Then you want someone to come into your life to give you love. Are you giving love to yourself? You want someone to come so you can write them love letters, send them messages in the morning, tell them you love them, to be able to make love to them, to be able to take care of them and protect them. Are you making love to yourself every day? Are you taking care of yourself and pampering yourself? Are you telling yourself every day how much you love yourself? Instead of longing for a person to come to touch you, to hug you, to protect you, and to pamper you, what are you doing every day to talk to yourself with love and compassion? When you have a bad day, you probably long to have a partner who you can tell all the hardships and all the lamentations of your disastrous day maybe you had at work, and that person consoles and comforts you, right? Are you comforting yourself? Are you hugging and finding shelter in yourself after a bad day? You probably long to have a partner, to have fun and have someone to go to the movies with, to go to eat your favorite food, with whom to spend an afternoon watching movies. Are you doing it with yourself? If you don't learn to enjoy each of these spaces by yourself before wishing to share them with others, you are probably making it much harder for the relationship you crave to materialize in your life. I am going to share a final key that I know has transformed the lives of my patients around the world, and I know that the perception of the thousands of people who follow me on social networks is changing. But first, I want to ask you from my soul that please like this video and subscribe so you help me get this message to many more people. Do not forget also that if you want to attend my events or my online workshops and learn more about my private sessions, you can visit me at www.marialenavadillo.com. Without further ado, the final key is that you keep in mind that the best time to materialize the relationship you crave for, the best moment in which life will tell you, wow, this is the time. You deserve all the happiness next to a person with whom you can share your greatness. It is the cusp moment where spiritually and emotionally you can continue to grow next to a person. It is the moment when you least need to have a partner, because it is from your freedom, your empowerment, your deserving, and your plenitude that you can create healthy and happy relationships. So, do you want to know when you're ready to be in a relationship? In the moment in which you decide that if it is there, if you have it, if you materialize it, then it's perfect. But simply, you don't need it. I send you all my love, kisses, and hugs, and see you in the next video.